Hey, everybody. How's it going? Episode 17, Education, Smeducation. It's good to be here. We're coming off a hot week. We had a very hot week. I'm going to get this out of the way real quick. We have to induct 3 people into the Mike O'Keefe Hoop of Admiration, Ken. 3 people.
That's a good amount.
Ken's here. Hey, what's up, Ken? How's it going?
What's up, everybody? Ken
cool.
Here.
Ken, you had fun in Iowa?
Yeah, it was a blast, man. We had so I had an online show through like KO Comedy Club, and I was in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, and I had no service and there was no Wi-Fi, so I like ended up dropping that show on accident. Couldn't get online. And then I did a show in Okeechobee, Iowa. It's a lake town. It's pretty cool. It was a pretty dope crowd. Got a good time out of it.
Ken, I'm going to be honest with you. I was looking for you to just say, yeah, man. But cool. Sounds great. You're usually such a good, like, yes and sidekick at the top of the show. Just like, yeah, man, cool. You got it, boss. And then I'm weirded out because why would you call me boss? Yeah. But then you can't even say the name of the town. I don't want you to learn it. But I'm glad you had fun in Iowa, our 38th state. I don't know if that's true. Anyway, we had 3 people match our donation last week to the AALDF. So Jim Flanagan, a comedian did that. Who knew? Wow. Who knew? We'll have Jim Flanagan on the show soon. We can only have one filthy, rotten bog rat Mick a month. and Sean Finnerty is this week. And we'll have the Flan Man on soon. But Jim Flanagan, Troy Dallas, and Kevin Aldridge, welcome to the Mike O'Keefe Hoop of Admiration. They match our donation to the AALDF. Fantastic. I'm having a good week. Semester started. I read a whole book in 5 days, so I'm feeling smart. I know a lot of words. If anyone wants to talk about the American Revolution, I'm Mallory's all revolutioned out. So if you need to talk about Thomas Paine and Hamilton and the like, just give me a shout. Anyway, Sean Finnerty's here. Sean, say hello.
Hello.
That was Sean.
Honestly, man, I was kind of confused. I didn't know if the dirty Mick Bograt was my cue to jump in.
Like, hey, he knows my intro.
I like to give a nice ramp up where I say the guest name very flatly. I don't give any credits.
Thank you very much, local MC.
Yeah. What's when you go on the road, because you started, Sean, but for those who don't know, Sean Fallon was on the Jimmy Fallon television program. He was on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon.
But the Fallon television program.
He was on RTE 5. He was very good. And but when you go on the road, and you started in the South, which is fascinating to me. How did you get to the South? And then what's the weirdest thing someone's brought you up with? Because I obviously have a story about this as well. Because it's one of the funnest topics in comedy, if you're asking me, baby. Also, we're gonna get real into this hustle culture thing. We need to talk.
Yeah. I moved to Florida because my van broke down there.
Nice.
There is not one word of a lie in that.
You and the other 5 wolf tones just sat down in Ireland.
We were like, let's conquer Florida.
Yeah. Shane McGowan said, fix the wheel, and then you were done. That's good.
Well, we think that's what he said. He's difficult to understand. He actually said,
he said,
it was during that conversation he lost his last tooth.
He did, and that we miss that tooth every day. Ken, these are famous Irish musicians that me and Sean's dad like. We love them.
He's so right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, like people my age from Ireland could give a fuck about Irish culture, but if you're in America, you wear it like a badge of honor. You get a dumb tattoo, and you really get into it. But
Just
people
a Celtic cross and a Bono quote.
oh yeah, that's all it is. Yeah,
You seen Mike's tramp stamp? That's crazy.
I let Sean fuck me from behind.
I could actually tie all this together. My dad met Bono one time, right? Because my dad actually plays Irish music, and he was playing at this birthday party for the mother of this like multi-millionaire property developer, right? And the super rich guy, he sees my dad's playing music. He sees a helicopter land and sees what he describes as this greasy looking fucker out dancing with the mother, right? And then this guy comes over and stands beside my dad at the bar, and my dad's friend goes to him, "Hey, look, isn't that your man Bono?" And my dad looks at him, looks back at his friend, and goes, "Couldn't give a fuck."
One of the most famous musicians of the last years. Couldn't give a fuck.
We're not big on respecting celebrities in Ireland.
Oh, you shouldn't be. You shouldn't be.
Yeah,
why? I mean, because Top Dog's still Flatley. You know, you can't. That's not a respectable man.
Oh yeah. So intros. Here's a good one. I got one time. I was at a club, and they said, "What do you want? What do you want to come up to?" I said, "I don't care. Just don't say I'm Irish. That's it." Right? And they go, and the host goes up and goes, "This next comedian is from a land far, far away, but he didn't want me to tell you where." Keep it going for Sean Finnerty. And then I walk up to "Shipping Off to Boston."
Oh no.
I guess the sound guy thought that'd be a good tune for me.
Yeah.
I just got up and I was like, well, that ruined the fucking surprise, didn't it?
That's amazing. My best one was I don't know, have I told the story about the fireman's thing on this yet, Ken? It was like a fireman's banquet. Okay, so I did a gig. This is like really into like maybe 10 months in, and I was doing a benefit for, it wasn't a benefit, it was like a firefighters year-end like Christmas party in Morenci, Michigan, which is like right smack dab in the middle of nowhere, maybe like an hour and a half north of Fort Wayne, Indiana. And I get there, I'm super new. I'm also 20 years old at this point. And it's supposed to be me and another comedian. Very late. He's not on time at all. That's very relevant to the story. So they're telling me, they're like, "Hey, we can put you up here in the program." And I'm like, let's wait for the other guy to get here. Like, we can put you up here. And I was like, let's wait. It's like, we have dinner now. We can do you after dinner. And I was like, fantastic. I fill up my plate with a ton of food, and I'm eating it very slowly because we need this other comic to get here. Because I've been doing it 9 months. I can't pull an hour and a half out of my ass. Like, I can barely do the 20 minutes I'm supposed to do. Like, it's no good. And they're like, "Okay, there's one more thing we can put in front of you." And then it was a moment of silence for the first ever firefighter to die in the line of duty of the Morenci, Michigan Fire Department.
Oh my God. Why?
Yeah.
Dude, yeah. I would have did the hour and a half. I don't care.
Dude, that is like so similar. I had one time. I was hosting this thing on Amazon Prime called Fireball Run. Terrible show. One of the worst shows ever made. I like to tell people to watch it because it's so horrendously shit. Right?
It's still available.
Yeah, it's still up there somewhere. Yeah. But so
my iPad to investigate, but go on, Sean.
Season 9, Shooter McGavin's on it. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's not his proudest moment. So so it's the first night, and there's like 200-300 people, probably like 300 people gathered in this banquet hall, right? And the show, one of the themes of the show is it's to raise awareness for missing children, right?
Oh boy.
So this opening banquet, first night of the show, and this guy, he was the head of like the Missing Kids Foundation that was sponsored, gives this like 15-minute heart-wrenching speech about how the worst part these children going missing is the parents not knowing, and how at least if they knew the kids were dead, they'd be able to start the grieving process and moving on. And people are like in tears and like crying. And next thing, the guy who's like just bringing people up, so like people applaud the end. This guy goes up and he just goes, and now with last season's bloopers, Sean Finnerty.
Yeah, it's really bad. These parents, they can't move on. They're just thinking about their how about how their kid is in a shallow grave. Hey, Sean, a couple people fell down last year, eh?
It's so bad.
That's amazing. Oh, Fireball Run. It is. I checked. It's still on Amazon Prime. It's on there. Enjoy it.
God. Worst show ever made. People like who know me and know I did it will bring me up to that as a credit just because they know how much it annoys me.
I love it. Think we just got something for the description there, baby.
Damn it.
Now the show is called Education Smeducation that we're on right now. Did you go to school in Ireland? Do they have school in Ireland? Bring us through it.
We've won.
Okay, what's it like?
We all go to the one school. No, so primary school is like ages 4 to like 12, and then secondary school is 12 to like 18. Yeah. So yeah, I went to primary school in like really rural part of like Longford is the name of the county. My dad was actually the principal of the school, and it was I don't know. We had a basketball court. Is that something?
Man, Longford is like, it's like kind of a Roscommon.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So Longford, it's the second smallest county. There's only 30,000 people in the whole county.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I think there's 30,000 people on my block. Wow.
Wow, that's less than the listeners of this podcast.
Oh, you're so kind. That's nowhere.
And now time for the ads.
Yeah. Hey, we got an ad for me. That's me adding on my own show. That's crazy. Well, when your dad's the principal, what's that like? How many people are in your class? How many people are in the town?
Town. That's a good one.
How many people are on the 2 streets with the 1 stop line? Also, how many bars in said town?
2 bars, 1 shop, and 1 church.
Damn.
There's always more bars than anything else.
Oh, 100%. So Newmarket, County Cork is where my dad was from.
Right.
Like very, very, like pretty small, but 1 church, 1 Volkswagen dealership, Ken.
Yeah, nice. They do that.
Yeah, 13 bars.
Amazing. Yeah. My dad grew up in a town called Loughrea in County Galway. And at one point they had 46 bars. And it's a town of, at that time, probably about 4,000 people.
Jesus Christ. That's like
it's like a cartoon.
For 10 people.
That's like a bar every 100 people.
Yeah, like that's a bar for every like 40 of age people. Like,
let me tell you, they were thriving.
Oh, I'm sure they were doing. Yeah. I still remember some of the names of them. There's Scully's in Newmarket, the Dark Horse. Scully's was the one where they had music once a week. So when we'd go back, my dad would be like, "We have to go to Scully's," and we're like, "We? They don't need us there."
And then there's always one bar that it doesn't matter what it's actually called. Nobody calls it by that name. They just call it by the owner's nickname.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the Dark Horse in Newmarket.
Yeah. In my dad's hometown, or where we were, there was a bar called the Tally Ho, but everyone just called it Wang's. and now there's one where they live now in Ballincollig in County Cork, so just outside of Cork City. There's a bar. I think it's called like Riley's or Fox's or something, but everyone just calls it Hitler's.
Why do they call it Hitler's?
Your man used to have a funny looking tash, and they just, so he's Hitler now.
Of course he did. That's that's the kind of things you can expect from my man.
Yeah,
that's amazing. That's fantastic. But like when you're in school, did you like it? Like, what do you do? You're just aiming to get out. Is the entire nation of Ireland like the song "Born to Run"? We just need to get out of there.
I think most of us go to college because it's free. So that's basically like, that's kind of the move, is you just get through school, go to college, move out of your house, and just start being unsupervised and getting shit faced.
I feel like that is, both my cousins kind of did the same thing, where it's just like, well, we can go to UCD, and it's the big city, and it's going to be amazing. And then, from there. But that's how you make a good country. The college system in the United States, I don't know if you've heard, Sean, it's kind of wacky.
It's interesting. But listen, I'm not saying our way is right. We owe a lot of money to Germany.
Oh, yeah.
But, man, it's weird. Like, so when I was in school, I was like, I suppose I was a pretty smart kid, but just very, very lazy. Didn't give a shit about school, but I would always like coast by and do okay. Like my older sister, her name is Aoife, and we had the same chemistry teacher in secondary school, and her famous quote about me was, Sean's probably smarter than Aoife, but we'll never know.
What were you doing instead of school stuff? Like what were you into as a teen?
Gaelic football and drinking.
Nice. What this is gonna blow your mind. I played Gaelic football in the United States.
In Michigan or Chicago?
In Michigan. The Detroit Wolf Tones.
Love it. Yeah. That's an overused name right there.
100%. 100%.
There's like 40 Wolf Tones just in Longford.
Listen, there's everyone's a Wolf Tone, or I feel like there was a decent amount of
a lot of teams named after like rebellion leaders.
I was about to say, we did play a team that was just called the Pierce.
Pierce, Pierces, the Connollys.
The Connollys. I want to say there was one team that was just called like Shamrocks, and they were like laughed out of the competition. Like they're like, look at these guys, Shamrocks, come on.
The Clovers, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, get out of here.
just
fight Irish. We're all fighting Irish. Get the
the fucking Lucky Charms over here.
Oh, Jesus Christ. No, but I was one of your better right fullbacks, and I would cross it in. I could put it over. I was probably shit by Irish standards, but in America, I was mediocre.
Kingpin O'Keefe.
Yeah.
Man in the back line.
Oh, of course, yeah. Like Andy Robertson, it was great.
It's funny, we can't really say shit about that. Let's keep politics out of sports when like all of our teams are named after like rebellion leaders.
Well, like the rest of the world, especially in football, like every single soccer football team has like a political ideology.
Yeah.
And like I root for Celtic, which we've talked about on the podcast before, which is like one of the most political clubs imaginable.
Yeah.
But here it's like, listen, LeBron, get out of here.
Just shoot the hoops or whatever you do.
Sean, when you saw this Space Jam trailer this week, did you flip out? Did you love it? This is a standard question I ask everyone on the show.
The Space Jam trailer? Are you going to tell me there's a new Space Jam movie?
There is.
Is that how I'm going to find out about this?
You just broke Ken's heart. Ken's so excited.
Yeah, the new Space Jam player, like the new Space Jam with the greatest player of all time, LeBron James.
Whoa, don't say that in this city.
I see what's happening here. Well, Ken, if it makes you feel better, I saw the original. With the real best player of all time.
Yeah, fucker. They were so mean to my favorite team in that documentary. So I don't like Jordan anymore. They were so mean to the Pistons. We were mean guys. We went in there and we said, hey, listen, we don't want to shake hands. And Jordan was like,
well, I don't know. To be honest with you, like he's still probably bitter over all those years the Pistons beat him at the start of his career. So
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. I've seen his documentary, and let's just say he's a guy who likes a grudge.
He loves it. Michael Jordan will, if there was like a waiter who was a little bit late with something for Michael Jordan found that guy at the YMCA and crossed him over.
Yeah.
Prove a point.
just put his balls in his face.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, you were talking about politics in sports. Like, it was funny. I was watching a Premier League game today, and my buddy Tom walks into the room at the start of the game, and they're all like taking a knee, and he goes, "So is there a lot of like uproar about that over there?" I was like, "No, that's really just an American thing." Yep. And then I realized I had to check myself because there is a team in London called Millwall who, let's just say, are scumbags. and they did start booing people taking a knee. So there was that. Yeah. But I think that's just because they like upsetting people in general.
Yeah, Millwall is like, and welcome to Soccer Chat, Ken. I'm so sorry.
Oh yeah, this is cool. I'll just sit here quietly.
Yeah,
we'll get back to Space Jam 2 Tokyo Trip in a second.
The second episode in a row when this has been delved into, but Millwall is like the I don't know who's the biggest villain in professional wrestling to you, Ken?
Biggest villain?
Yeah, they're like they're the biggest pieces. They're jerks. Then that's like their thing, though.
Okay. Is the Undertaker a villain? I don't think the Undertaker's a villain, right? I don't know.
Probably. I mean, you could argue Edge during the Rated R thing, right?
Yeah. Millwall's not sleeping with anyone's girlfriends, though. You know.
No. Punch your girlfriend.
Yeah, I was about to say Millwall's like the Jeff Gillooly of soccer.
They're not really a threat, but you hate them.
Oh yeah. They're hitting figure skaters in the knee with baseball bats and stuff. That's Millwall.
All right, we gotta bring Ken back in. Here's one for you, Ken. There is a soccer team in. Don't worry, this will bring you back in. There is a soccer team in like lower leagues in Spain, and I swear to you, they recently changed their name to Flat Earth FC.
No way.
Is that true?
That is, you can look that up. I swear to you that is true. And the best part, their mascot, they're going all in on this. Their mascot is an astronaut.
That's hilarious. Is this ironically, this is ironic, right? Like they're trying to make.
Well, here's the thing is that it's never openly been said that it's an ironic thing. Like their owner is a flat earther, but his players don't have to be. He just wants them to open their minds and think about stuff.
That's amazing. All right, that settles it. We're all getting scarves. As soon as this opens back up, we're taking a jet to Spain. We're gonna do away days. We're gonna put on our ski mask. We're gonna get our flares, and we're ultras for Flat Earth FC, baby.
Yeah, I think they're pretty close to Madrid. And you better believe, like, as soon as I found out about this, I was looking up merchandise online. So, is the guy a genius? I think so.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't wear a Flat Earth FC jersey? That's hilarious.
Yeah. I'm about to get one for the summer for sure.
What are their that's amazing that their badge also has an astronaut.
Oh yeah, you should see. There's a Vice little thing about it on YouTube and stuff, and the comments are hilarious. It's all like, hey, so when the ball goes out of play on your pitch, does it just fall off the edge of the Do you guys play with footballs or discs?
They're a very, very prominent ultimate frisbee team. They're fantastic.
Oh my gosh, that's insane.
That's their real calling.
Yeah. Oh man, I love it. When you played Gaelic, was it for the how does sports like that work in Ireland? Do you play for the school? Are you playing for the team? What how does that
walk me through for the school and for your local club?
Yeah.
So that's what I was doing. I was playing all the way up until like under 18s. I was playing with my school and my local club, and then I was on the first year team in college as well. And then, you know, by college you're living on your own. You don't have any rules, so the boost took over. Well, I was playing semi-professional soccer for a couple of years as well.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah,
where at? Where? How'd you do that? What are you doing there?
I was playing soccer from like an early age, same as Gaelic football. It's from like, you know, 8, 9, 10.
Oh, I mean, they're interchangeable with some of the skills, and the position.
Exactly. And so I was playing under 16s with Longford Town, which they would have been in the top division in Irish football, and I was on their like youth team basically.
Oh, nice. So were you like in the academy there? Do they have an academy, or like what
basically was that? The academy? Yeah. Now, so we trained at their, you know, at their facilities and whatever else, and we were like, yeah, they're youth players or whatever. But yeah, I mean, you know, I was realistic enough to know what direction my life was heading in, and it wasn't to professional soccer. You know, it was to shots and becoming a bartender. That's
So did you when did you give up on the dream? I guess
I mean,
what's that conversation like in your head? Because I had the same thing with when I played American football, where I got to a certain point where I was just like, okay, this is not realistic anymore. What's that situation like in your brain? How do you go about it? What brings you to that? And how do you reconcile it? And what do you do next?
Well, with Gaelic football, it was pretty easy because that's not a professional sport anyway.
I was about to say, no one makes any money off of that. No players do. Yeah. But the GAA makes money, but the players they don't get paid at all.
Yeah, so it's more like, well, I guess I won't have a piss up once every 5 years if we win a tournament. And with soccer, again, it was the same thing. Like, I was playing at a decent level, but just knowing what the jump was to get any sort of level out of it, like, it just wasn't going to suit my lifestyle. Like, if I was to pursue it as hard as I possibly could, like, I still wasn't going to make any headway. It's not like I was maybe at a stretch I could have played in the top division in Ireland, but like, what's that, fucking $500 a week? A lot of those guys still have to have jobs.
I was about to say, yeah, like even like the best teams in like, you know, Shamrock Rovers, those guys still have to have jobs, right? Yeah.
Usually there's like 2 or 3 teams at any given time where they're all like full time and making decent money. But what's decent money in that league? Maybe someone around $2,000 a week, but I'd imagine like for the most part it's like 500 to $1,000 a week. So it's like, what are you even doing at that point? Just go enjoy your life. Get work in an office.
For sure. You know? Yeah. No, that's, I mean, yeah. There's so many jobs in America that you're just staring at a computer, but you're making $2,000 a week. Like, that's
exactly. Yeah. School was pretty, like, primary school in Ireland was pretty straightforward. It was just like, yeah, but where it got wild was secondary school. I went to an all boys school, and yeah, that shit.
Did you get hit? You get punched? You get anything? Teachers hit you? Anything?
It was a dogged environment, man. It was crazy. We had this one teacher, right? And like, do you know that teacher where you're like, oh man, you should have quit like 4 years ago, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and now he's like early onset dementia, and you're just like bullying this guy who should be in like a home or something. Like, we used to torment that poor guy. Like, and this guy was like, not only that, he was like a local legend. Like, he was an unbelievable football player in the day, and now he's just some old guy that we're setting paper balls on fire and throwing at him.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Y'all go hard.
That's insanity.
Oh man, we were nuts, man.
Low level arson to old man McGinty. What was his name?
My friend, tip of the iceberg.
Tip of the iceberg.
We need to get into this, but first, we love a teacher's name. What was his name?
Mr. Donnelly.
Mr. Donnelly. Okay. Yeah. The tip of the iceberg. What subject did he teach?
I had him for business.
Business.
All right. Business. All right. Not traditionally a class that
business in America, you capitalist fucks.
No, they don't want to teach people about business. They just want to like make us spend our money in them. Like, here's
the brilliance of business classes in America. You gotta pay for them because they're only in college.
Really?
And that, my friend, is lesson number 1.
Do you really not learn any like sort of business or commerce or anything like that in like high school?
I mean, it's an elective. I remember there was an intro to business class in my high school, and it was taught by the baseball coach, and it was a notorious blow-off elective.
Right.
Yeah.
But in high school.
In high school, yeah. But like
something that only came in like the latter years of high school, or
it was just for juniors and seniors. So the last 2 years of high school, only for those two. And yeah, it was I was gonna take it, and my advisor was like, "Are you trying to get it? Like, what college are you trying to go to?" And I was like, "I want to go to X, Y, and Z." And he was like, "Yeah, don't take intro to business. They're not gonna care. Don't take it. It's not gonna help you." So, like they outwardly were like, "Don't. That's for losers."
That's so funny because like our quote unquote intro to business would have been like when we were like 12 to 14.
What?
And then 15, 16, 17 to 18 when you graduate was like, or the later years, you picked an elective so you could pursue business further, or you could go specific into like economics or accountancy.
What?
Whoa.
Yeah.
They're teaching you
like
accountant
in high school.
No fucking way.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's sounds like you guys have really got it down over there.
Well, you know, we were spending our time throwing fireballs at teachers.
Yeah, okay, so let's get back to the
Yeah.
We've somehow lost the thread. Fireballs at this sweet old man.
Yeah. One time we singed his shirt and shit. Yeah, it was so requesting a fire extinguisher in his class and stuff.
How do you singe this 80-year-old man's shirt? Like, how does this?
Well, it was a pretty sweet shot. It landed on the desk and he leaned against it.
Yo, you would go to jail. Like you would go to prison.
100% go to jail.
What are they going to charge you with? Banter?
No, they would charge you with arson.
Arson?
Come on, that's not a real crime.
What a banter? No, arson, you fucking maniac.
For one whole year in that
oh, that's amazing.
That school, one whole year. I don't know how this took off, but everyone in my class, it was like 30 of us, actually the whole year, so like 120 students, we for a year played this game, which the entire purpose of the game was to stab a classmate with a compass.
Like the math ones where you draw the circle? Yeah, okay.
Needle on the top, so just like puncture someone's skin with a compass.
Wow.
Like, those things went far. Like you could pull one out and you could see like an inch of blood on the fucking compass.
Holy shit.
It's wild shit, man. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, Americans are violent, but y'all are clearly way more violent than us.
I mean, I'll take the guns. Jesus Christ.
Like, and you guys don't have school shootings? Like how?
Because we don't have access to guns.
I mean, I think we all can agree
with compasses, but
I think we all can agree the video games are the problem. That's the problem.
That's not where we learned that shit. So the whole game was just try to stab someone in the arse with a compass, not like on the arse cheek, you know, just like.
Oh, well, okay. So that makes it a little bit better.
Not like in the hole. That'd be dirty. Come on, we have class.
James Joyce is from here. We're not. Come on, you know the butt meat. Also, that is a very serious crime. It's called shenanigans. You should.
You'll get a slap on the wrist for that one now, boy.
Oh boy. Oh, I tell you. I'm sorry. I said that in a little bit of a brogue. I apologize for that.
That's all right.
It's my dad moved to America when he was 3, so he never had an accent. But he would like get on the phone with his cousin, and after he would be on the phone with Thaddeus for like, I don't know, 20 minutes. He'd be like, "Oh, Michael, you having a nice time? You want your oh, I'm sorry." It'd be like the accent, and then I'm sorry immediately.
That's amazing because like the part of the country he comes from, Ken, is County Cork, and Cork people have the most hilarious accent.
It's
Like
nuts. Yeah.
Cork people sound like they're mid-transition from human to chicken. It's like, hold up, boy.
Oh, hey. Oh, lovely. Oh, lovely.
It's
like,
ridiculous.
Like the way Americans would say like or like that, it's just this guttural like, oh, okay. All right.
What's the story, boy? How we know?
Grand soul, Mick. I was like, get out of here. Just do it. Also, by the way, this is our first sponsor. My uncle Thaddeus still owns the Newmarket County Cork Video Library. If you need to rent a DVD and you're in Newmarket County Cork, Thaddeus O'Keefe is your man.
My goodness.
Yeah, still there. Still doing
13 pubs in a video market. And a master dealership or whatever it was.
Listen, Volkswagen. It's a great man. So how many people have you stabbed, Sean?
Oh, I mean, with a compass, probably like the same 7 countless times.
Okay. So
you had to know your place. You had to know your place on the on the totem pole. You know,
who you could
I'm not just gonna go stabbing big dogs.
Yeah. It's like a feudal caste system.
Right. It's an all boys school. All you can do to survive is bully people weaker than you and be funny.
Yeah. Man, you learn how to be funny so quickly.
Oh man, I'm telling you, like, because I was real short as a kid too. I'm 6'1" now, but up until the age of up until 15, I was like 5'6", and then just like that summer, I just shot up to 6 foot. So yeah, and then I switched school. And here's a funny thing: in that first school I was in, I switched to a mixed school, and it was like male and female, but the all boys school. I did I just over explain there?
I mean, there was a second there where I was like, I'm glad he's explaining what he means by mixed. Because there's a couple different ways that could have went.
Yeah.
Like I saw the look on Ken's face where I was like, he should say what he means.
Yeah. I was like, a mixed school? What do you mean? Like, are you segregated still?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Ken's just like, they're mulatto schools, Sean.
So it's funny, words that you never think about when you live in a country that only has white people.
Listen, Callum Robinson is a good football player. Okay,
solid. Yeah, he must have grown up in England.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So the first school when we play soccer, like soccer wasn't soccer; it was just war. So like a teacher would just throw a ball in, and for 30 minutes we would just try to like hit people with as many dead legs as possible. That is the most, listen, I will take a compass stabbing any day of the week. A knee into the side of the leg is the sorest shit. It will ruin your week. It's so unpleasant. So it was literally like guys running around on the pitch and just like trying to get rid of the ball as quickly as possible so they wouldn't get a knee into the leg, right? And then I switched schools after third year, so 4th, 5th, and 6th I went to a different school, and I go, yeah. So the last school I was in, we used to, we play soccer. They used to always like throw dead legs. Do you do that here? This guy was like, no, we don't. We don't do that here. And I'm playing a game of soccer in the yard, and in the middle of the game, this guy yells out, shin kicks, and everyone just starts kicking the shins off each other as hard as they can. Oh, and I was like, oh, so you just do it in a slightly different way.
It's like, you're not better than us, dude.
But I will say that's
3 inches lower. It's the same fucking thing.
Yeah, there's something about women also being in the school where like men kind of, or adolescents kind of behave themselves a little better. Like kind of we're under watch because I don't know, we're trying to fucking meet up with a young one or something, Is that?
Yeah, sure. Well, I did all 4 in all boys school. Was your all boys school religious? I guess they're probably all religious over there.
I mean, it was called St. Mel's College.
Nice.
So Yeah.
Of course. We were Detroit Catholic Central. We didn't have the violence that you guys did.
What the fuck?
And you were in Detroit.
Yeah, we
Detroit's no walk in the park, but rural.
He's like, I grew up in Detroit and I felt safer there than at your school.
Like there was enough violence coming from the teachers toward us. Where like and I've talked about it a bunch of times on this. Where like I was hit in the back of the head with like a big like class ring like on a daily basis.
Right.
And so we would like we never did violence against each other, but there was a lot of like just the psychological torment we inflicted upon each other is masterful. And it was at the time, like looking back, I'm like, well, it was a little bit fucked up. But at the time I was like, I can't wait to go and figure out a new way to call this guy fat. Like it was, it was the greatest. But yeah, we didn't have the violence aspect of you guys.
So I think where it started with us was Irish schools used to have what we would call that when the teachers could hit the students, it was called corporal punishment.
Yeah.
And so that was eliminated like a couple of years before I started school. Like my parents are both teachers, and so when they both first started teaching, my dad in particular, he was allowed to fucking smack.
Yeah.
He didn't do it much. Occasionally he would, just to fucking, if someone was needed to be put in line or whatever, but he didn't do it much. But there was this whole generation of teachers, especially I noticed it in that all boys school I went to, that they were just so used to, go on, step out of line, I'll fucking show you, you know? And then all of a sudden that power was taken away from them and they had no idea how to deal with kids because they couldn't be out of them anymore. So they're just like, these teachers losing their minds because they're like, oh man, 5 years ago, I would have knocked you out and dragged you in the hallway. And now I have to listen to your shit. So they try these punishments and the kids are almost daring them like, come on, fucking hit me. You know, what are you going to do? And occasionally a teacher would lose their minds and just lash out with a kid. And it was like, we got you. Almost daring teachers. Come on. What do you got? What do you got, big guy? Come on.
I love it.
Y'all are crazy as hell over there.
It's a nuts country, man. It's
pretty wild, man. It's pretty wild. Yeah.
Man, so in America that was done away with in like the 70s probably.
Right.
But Catholic school completely not encumbered by the rules or the laws. They don't pay taxes. They don't have to deal with any of that. So teachers who were like how you, like in Ireland, it sounds like these teachers were like cops who had to work a desk job.
Right. They got
the wrong kid or something.
They accidentally shot a dog and they got their gun taken away.
Yeah. But in America, those same teachers would go to Catholic school like they were getting into special forces or something.
Right.
Oh, you shot the wrong kid. Now you have to be on the SWAT team.
You just got a promotion.
Yeah. Like, I guess you're a ranger now.
Was there a teacher that you liked? Was there any aspect of school that you did enjoy that you kind of sunk your teeth into, either curriculum wise or with a teacher or anything like that?
Yeah, there was a bunch of teachers I liked. I mean, the thing was, I was always getting like pretty decent grades. I wouldn't kill myself. Every parent teacher conference was just teachers finding different ways to saying, well, he's pretty laid back, you know.
Yeah.
He doesn't kill himself, you know, but the grades are there, so we can't really say much. I liked, I had a history teacher who was great. I didn't love history by any stretch, but he was an amazing teacher. Mr. Waldron was his name. We call him Scruffy. He had a big beard. You get
it. Very on point with the nicknames. I love it.
Oh, yeah. I love a good nickname. But there was one guy and I went to school with, and his nickname, because his nickname was 60. right? Because because he was downtown one day and he encountered travelers, and they said, "Ah, look at you there with the shiny looking forehead on you. You look like a 60-watt bulb. Ah, 60."
I love it.
It's called a 60.
That's great.
Yeah.
We had a kid that he so diesel fuel was like cheaper at some spots in America.
Right.
And so this kid had, I think he had like a Chevy Malibu or something, just a, you know, a used Chevy Malibu, the kind of car you get it when you're in high school and your parents have an old car and they give it to you. And he put a bunch of diesel in his car because it was cheaper, and it like stalled out immediately. I don't.
What happens when you put the wrong fuel in your car?
Exactly, but that happened. That happened the end of sophomore year. His name was Diesel forever.
Love it.
It's still in my phone as Diesel. I don't even remember the kid's real name. I'll be 100% honest with you. I don't know what it is. It's Diesel to me.
That's great.
And some people know him as Shaquille O'Neal. I still call him Diesel. that was to bring Ken back in.
Trying to think what other teachers I like. Well, so the second school I went to, the second secondary school, do you remember I transferred over? My mom actually taught at that school. And the reason I didn't want to go there in the first place was I didn't want to go to another school where one of my parents taught, but everyone loved my mom as a teacher. So it ended up like not being an issue at all.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people didn't even know I was her son because we had different last names. Because she always kept her, like my parents are still together. She just always kept her last name from when she started teaching, never changed in the classroom.
And she won an award for the most progressive woman in all of Ireland.
Do you know? Oh my goodness. There is, if you could find a clip of this in like the late 80s, there was this competition in Ireland, and it was sponsored by Calor Gas, which is just a gas company. And it was the Calor Gas Housewife of the Year. So it's just like all these lovely mammies coming out being interviewed by a guy named Gay Byrne. It was just, man, if you see this, it's some of the most sexist shit. And like, if you look back at it now, it's just like how, oh God, how did we even, but at the time it was just like, I make an ice cake.
You don't have to wait for tea. I'll bring it right to you. It's great. So grand.
And for my talent, I wrote a poem about how great my husband is. He only hits me when he's drinking.
The winner of that contest, Teresa O'Keefe, Thaddeus's wife. She did it. That's it.
By that stage in school, I liked a lot of my teachers. They were all pretty cool.
That's great. That's it.
There's still, like, I think when you get older and like that 15, 16, 17 kind of range, you start to go, I don't really need to fight with these people. They're just trying to help me out. But there's always those couple of spots on your day where you look at your classes for the day and you go, I'm not looking forward to noon, or I'm not looking forward. But it felt like by that stage there was only one teacher whose class I really hated going to, and then there was another one that I just feared because she tried to get the best out of me.
Yeah,
you're like,
isn't that the worst?
Try to make me a decent person.
Yeah. That's exactly it. Every other teacher was just like, Sean will be fine. We'll just let him do his thing. But this one teacher would she'd always call on me for questions because she'd know I wouldn't have done the reading and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, can you just it'll be fine in the end. Just leave me be. Yeah.
What class was that? Do you remember? Was it brain surgery or something?
That was, it was chemistry.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
And then, so when you go off to university, where'd you go to college? Sorry.
University of Limerick. Actually, the name.
It's a lovely county.
Yeah.
You have many people there.
Yeah, only college with joke in the name. That's pretty cool, right?
Sean, come on. Was that your opener when you started doing the open mics over there?
No, no, I started in America, and that will be my opener for when I'm about to quit, honestly.
Like, well, things aren't going the way I want it to.
This is it. Here we go. Did you have to like pick a major or anything? Did you major in anything? What was your major?
Well, I kept going the old business route and majored in accounting and finance. Yeah. I never went to class, somehow scraped by with a degree. I really did like spend 4 years doing just solid boozing. Like there was 1 year.
Limerick's a good drinking town too.
Oh, it's a great drinking town. There was one semester in college where I had 16 hours a week, and the entire semester I made 15 hours of class. And it was a 14-week.
That's amazing.
I passed everything.
Holy crap.
Wow. That is.
And I remember I made that many hours is because one of the tutorials I took for economics was like, you had to make 7 of the 12 tutorials for 25% of your grade. So like 7 of the 15 hours I made, actually 6. I didn't even make the 7, but then I talked to me. I was like, no, I made a different one this week, and it wasn't the regular one I went to. She goes, oh yeah, I'll just add it on and give you the extra.
How did you start? How'd you get to America? What was the plan there? I'll just go over there, make the journey of millions have before me have made, and see what shakes out.
There was no plan. I got like a J1, so like a student visa to come over for a summer.
But the listeners who don't know, and it hasn't been around in the last couple of years of the Trump administration, but the J1 is like this crazy waiver where Irish kids can come over for like what? It's like 3 months,
up to 5 months,
to 5 months,
just party
and just work like 60 hours a week in bars, make a bunch of money to send home. But what they really do is cocaine, and they don't tip. That's what they love doing more than anything else.
I would say I started working in a bar, so I started tipping immediately.
Good for you. You're one of the few. Yeah, well, we used to run the show at G-Man, which I think you did, Sean. But when we ran the show at G-Man, it would be like J1 season, which is like literally what everyone would call it in Chicago, because a lot of them just come to Chicago hospitality. But Katie, the bartender, would just be like, fucking J1 season. I hate this.
I love it.
They drink so much and they tip nothing.
Do you know what the problem is? That they just don't have money and don't understand the concept of not getting drunk at a bar. So they're just like,
it's like this crazy like cultural disconnect.
Yeah.
Where they're like, we have to do this, but we don't know how to do this other thing. And it's just like,
but you will see there'll be the one who will get a good job or start making good money over there. Yeah. And then they just go like complete, because it's not that we're mean people. We just don't understand the concept. So like an Irish person will be there, and if they don't understand tipping, they'll be there buying drinks for everyone at the bar and then leaving $1. Like, but once we do get the concept, like a lot of people I know, they'd hate to be. It's like it is an Irish thing too, where they hate to be wrong. They'd hate to be doing it, like not doing what the right. So they'll actually ask, like, you know, what am I meant to leave you here? And I don't know, $1 a drink, whatever. Okay, all right. Well, I can do that. Yeah.
And I'm not trying to say that. I'm obviously not saying that Irish people don't tip. I'm saying that
Mike.
A lot of
poor Irish students who are wrecking your beloved city don't tip.
I'm saying a percentage of the Irish kids that would come over on a waiver that doesn't exist would sometimes not tip enough.
20%.
But also tipping in bars is kind of weird because it's like $1 a drink. But sometimes it's not. But what do you do with all? So I get it. What I'm saying is, I'm very excited for Joe Biden to
bring back the J1.
President Biden's bringing back the J1, and what that's really going to do is give us a built-in summer audience for bar showcases in Chicago, Illinois, baby. That's what
Love it.
That's what we're here for.
I might have to go there for the summer.
Come on. So what you came here on a J1? What happens next? Why? And then what happens next? And then how do you start comedy?
I didn't really have much of a use for the degree I just got. I only got it because it was free. I was like, let me see what this America place is all about. And I got a job for a summer working as a doorman in New York, which is basically just me going out, getting hammered drunk, and then showing up to a place hungover and sleeping in the back staircase. Because I worked with this guy, legend, James something or other. My bad, James, can't remember your name. But he
so legendary, he does not have a last name.
Like such a legend, I forgot his name.
Such a legend. Like Madonna, Pele, Maradona, legends.
It was summer 10 years ago. I drank a lot. What do you want from me? This guy, he used to have a fold-out bed that he kept in a black plastic bag, and every week or so, he'd move it to a different level. Because this is like a 28-story building. He'd just move it to a different level, and he'd just text me where it was, and then I'd get into work, and I'd just fold it out and sleep for a few hours.
That's amazing. Wait, so when you say doorman, you're like a doorman of like an apartment building?
Yeah. So, but I wasn't. So on the weekends, the doorman obviously is up front. Get the door, here are your bags, blah blah. I was working the service elevator. They had me with the other mix hiding out in the back. You know? So, but on the weekends during the summer, all of the rich people are off in the Hamptons for the weekends. So there's like no deliveries, right? And there's two of us back there. So the other guy would just be like, or the front guys or the other guy back there just be like, if anything comes up, we'll cover you. And I just go sleep for a few hours. Wasn't a bad job. $20 an hour to sleep, I'll take it.
Oh, of course, 100%. That's amazing.
Yeah. Then I went back to Ireland. I had to sit 2 repeats in college because, you know, I wasn't killing it. Got my degree, came back over, started working as a bartender, got service industry jobs, and I just loved it and stayed. I was like, yeah, this is for the, like, I got a bar job like right out of college, and I was making like fucking $2,000 a week.
Yeah.
So it's like, what?
New York City or?
Yeah. The richest I ever was, I'm 32. The richest I ever was when I was 21 years of age.
Disgusting.
Bad, horrible. I only lasted like 6 months in that job. They eventually fired me for just being drunk all the time. And then it's funny, the day I quit, or the day I got fired, I went out to my neighborhood. I basically showed up to work and they fired me because that's what they do in the service industry, so you can't steal from them. So I leave, I go out to my local bar, and I have a pint, and I'm chatting to these 2 Irish guys beside me, and you know, they were like, "Oh, so what do you do for work?" I said, "I just got laid off. I'm looking for a new bartending job." And he goes, "Where were you working?" And I told him the bar, and he goes, "Oh, it's a guy from County Meath that runs that, right?" He goes, "So what happened? Did Longford not like Meath, or did Meath not like Longford?" And I was like, "Look, to be honest with you, I don't want to talk about it. I just, you know, want to move on, find a new job." And he goes, "All right, well, I run this bar called McGee's. If you want a job, I need a new bartender." And he hired me because I didn't talk shit about my old boss.
Attaboy.
That's fucking legit.
That's how it should be, honestly.
Yeah,
that's great. You know what? Yeah.
Even if you suck at your job, I know you'll be loyal to me.
Yeah. You're not gonna badmouth me to, you know, some jagoff from my, you know, Skibbereen
Bible bar.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's it. I just stayed, did the bartending for a while. Went on that road trip, broke down outside Orlando, Florida. So I just moved there, and that's where I started doing comedy.
Wow. What were you going to see Mickey? What were you doing in Florida? Just, you know,
it was just a road trip. We went from New York. We were on the road for like almost a month. Went like Philly, DC, Richmond, Charlotte, Charleston, Savannah, Orlando, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, Key West, and then we're like, well, we're not going to live in Key West, so we started coming back. Broke down in a place called Vero Beach. Got the van fixed, and we're like, this isn't going to last much longer, so we just pulled up in Orlando, got a job a couple of days later, and I was like, live here now.
That's insane. Like, that's such a
Jeez.
crazy way to do that.
Yeah.
It was like throwing a dart at a map.
That's,
yep, I live there now.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess a dart is a little bit more, at least you know where you're throwing a dart. That's sometimes. You know.
Yeah.
The level of like precision with a dart, this is just fuck it.
And 3 weeks after I moved there, I started doing stand-up, like right after I got there.
Okay. What was that? What was that transition like? Did you like comedy in school? Like, did you give a shit about comedy, or was it just, hey?
I always liked comedy, and like I said, back in the early days in school, when I was like the small kid, and you had to kind of be funny to survive. I always kind of like had a fascination with humor and that. And yeah, so then when I'd actually been thinking about starting in New York. Yeah. I'd even like written stuff on that, and I just had no idea how to start. You know, I was working like 5 nights a week in a bar. You have no idea. How do you do this? I don't know. And then when I got to Orlando, like a week after I moved to Orlando, I met another Irish guy living there, because we always find each other like immediately. And we went for pints, and I told him I wanted to do stand-up, and he goes, "Oh, my roommate does stand-up. I'll introduce you." And then I just went to this open mic with him, and he drove to a second one that night and just like signed me up right away. And yeah, I started from there.
Who are your when you're in school in Ireland and you're like and you're getting into stand-up, are you getting American comedy, or is it just like Irish guys? Like who are like the Irish guys that you would suggest to, you know, people who found this podcast who probably like comedy and would like to do a deep dive on some comics from some other countries?
Some of the best from Ireland are Tommy Tiernan is great. Everybody in Ireland loves Tommy Tiernan. He's fantastic. Dara O'Brien is another guy, and Dylan Moran, or I guess Moran, you'd say over here. Those are the three of my favorites from Ireland anyway. So when I started listening to comedy, most of what I was exposed to was like Irish or like Comedy Central UK or something. So it'd be mostly Irish and English acts. But then when like right around when YouTube came about, I think it was YouTube I must have seen on, Dave Chappelle was the first American comedian I saw, and I was like, this dude is wild, man. I love him. Yeah. So first American comedian I ever saw was Dave Chappelle, and I was like,
that's nuts.
That's my guy right there. Yeah.
Do you remember? Did you see Killing Him Softly or something?
All like Killing Him Softly in like YouTube clips, broken up in YouTube clips.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. That's nuts. That your first exposure as like you're living in the middle of nowhere in Ireland, and then you're like
this guy.
Like, oh, this. I relate this bit where you know, the police, they're nicer to white people than black people. This is crazy. Sometimes you got to race, you know, it's crazy.
The first one I loved was that the premature ejaculator, but I come, it was right on time.
I remember seeing that special in 7th grade with my cousin Chris, whose ma was from Ireland, and the bit that really stood out was he's talking about Sesame Street, and he just goes, "Oscar, you're a grouch." It's like, "Bitch, I live in a trash can." And Chris lived like right outside of Philly, and we drove there. So the entire drive from Philly back to Ann Arbor, which is about 9 or 10 hours, was just me saying that to my parents.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Have you done stand up in Ireland? Have you done the Continental or anything like that?
Yeah. I did. I actually just did like a European tour there. In September. So it was like the perfect time because I booked it a good while in advance, and this was right when COVID numbers were like 3 a day in Ireland. Like cases were really low, and Europe had got their cases right down. I got this tour in, and like right after the tour, things pretty much like started to shut down again. So I got to go to. I've done a bunch of gigs in Ireland, but I did one in Galway this time around, and then I did like Copenhagen. Yeah, I did Malmo in Sweden. I did Bratislava, Vienna, Amsterdam, The Hague, Rotterdam, Berlin, Montpellier, and I think I did one other, but yeah, that's enough.
Yeah.
Oh, Linz in Austria as well. Yeah, so I did like 7 or 8 different countries. It was awesome.
Yeah, awesome. How did you feel? So I've been lucky enough to do Dublin and Amsterdam.
Right.
Did everyone in Amsterdam look at you like they couldn't give a shit that you were talking to them?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
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 Well, someone explained it to me where they're like, listen, everything is legal in Amsterdam. They've seen everything.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can say to get any reaction off of them. And they're 100% right. They don't care about anything you say.
It's wild because they're so attentive and they're there for you, but they're just like, yeah, we don't really, I don't think they laugh much in general.
Oh, they don't. Yeah. They're very reserved.
Yeah. So I did 3 shows there. 2 of them were good. And then the Amsterdam one, I was just like, I just started yelling at them. Yeah.
Love it.
Like, do you people feel anything?
Yeah.
The wildest, the most fun was Copenhagen. And I think that was dangerous because it was Denmark. It was right at the start of the tour. So the first show was undoubted. Like, there were other really good shows, but that was like undoubtedly the best show of the tour.
Oh, isn't that the worst?
It sucks, man. Because you're just like, King of Europe, he's home, babe. And then you're just like, oh no, it just turns out Danish people are fun and the rest of Europe fucking hates you. Dude, Malmo in Sweden is 30 minutes from Copenhagen. Just a quick train shot over, right? I do Malmo the night after Copenhagen. Just the best feeling ever. Here we go. Top of the world. 30 minutes away. I do Malmo the following night. And the whole show, I can sense it. It's not me. It's every comic. It's just like weird. And I'm going up to do 45 to close it out.
That's so good.
I'm like, this is going to be long. And here's the thing. The Swedish are very polite, but it is the most liberal country in the world. So they're like, they have to like check every joke before they can even consider laughing at it for fear of anyone being offended. So it's like, it's going okay. It's not terrible. And then this one lady, this like Russian chick up front, gets up and goes to the bathroom, and I make some joke about it, and then she comes back, and I said like welcome back or something or blah blah blah, and then she goes, maybe you will be funnier next time.
Whoa.
And
Man.
the only saving grace was like the crowd didn't necessarily agree with her because they're so nice.
Yeah.
So liberal that they're like, no, we're having a good time and we are laughing, but also like, what is your problem? Why would you say that? They start like groaning at her, and I go, no, it's all right, you know, listen, you're not having a good time. What's wrong? She's like, we can discuss it later. I'm like, oh, okay. So now you're just gonna shut me down. So we can't even have a dialogue here.
Yeah.
Just burn me and then be like, peace, bitch. You know?
But I'm still gonna sit here though.
Oh, I'm not moving. I'm gonna sit here and glare at you.
He sat there, arms folded, right? And so then I go into some of my like most reliable material, and it basically takes me like 4 or 5 minutes before I finally get them back to where they were, which wasn't amazing to begin with.
Yeah.
But like they're back and they're good. And I just go, you know what? I'm gonna stop the show for a second. I go, let me explain what just happened here, right? This lady shouts something out. You all feel extremely uncomfortable. And then I have to spend 5 minutes digging just to get you back to the point where everyone's enjoying the show. And as I'm explaining it, it's like they all got it. And they just like started giving me this huge applause and everything. And I was just like, okay, there's goodwill in the room. So, and I didn't want her to feel shitty, even though I hated her. So I go, you know what? I appreciate you sticking around. You didn't have to stay. Thanks. A round of applause for her for sticking around after she clearly wasn't enjoying the show. And then like begrudgingly gave her a clap. And she goes, I will come to see you the next time you're in town. And then it was like a feel good thing where it's like, oh, we can move on from this now. Yeah. Everyone's a winner. It's fine. But it's so funny when you have those moments where you're like, I want to melt down on this person right now. But if I just hold it together, there might be a resolution where the show will be better. you know?
Of course, yeah.
I really wanted to just slam her, but I was just like, look, it worked out for the best. And also, there's not going to be a next time. I'm not going back to that shit.
Like, I did not enjoy myself. I will not be back.
Yeah, that's going to happen.
I appreciate the sentiment, sweetheart. Fuck your town.
Yeah. Also, the last person I want to see me do stand-up comedy ever again is you. I don't want to come back and play this weird game of joke battleship where guessing what topic you want me to talk about.
Yeah.
I had a kind of a, and after, I'll tell you this story very quickly, and then we'll get to the quiz. This has been fantastic, though, and thank you so much for coming on, John.
Oh, of course. Cheers for having me, man. This is fun.
Oh, no problem at all. I had an experience like that in your adopted home state of Florida. I was at I think it was a Howl at the Moon in Fort Walton
Beach.
Oh yeah, real bad. Where a guy, they just hammered, and they would do very racist dueling pianos before the show.
I've done it.
Yeah, it's weird. It's one of the weirdest experiences where like it's these two white guys and they're like, they're playing like Asian sounding music, and they're putting on like rice patty hats, and they're putting chopsticks in their mouth to look like big buck teeth.
Gosh.
It's insane.
And murdering.
Murdering.
Destroying.
And here's the other thing for any of the listeners who don't do comedy. When you're about to go on stage and before you is a dueling piano act, the crowd are yelling and talking and singing and having a good time. And then it's like, and now for the comedians, everyone shut up and stop having fun.
Someone needs to talk. Like, it's the worst.
That's one of the few rooms, and anyone will say this about that room, that dueling piano room, they could fit up to like 140 people there. And they would say, like, if you were to have a shot of having a good show, there can't be any more than 70 in the room. Like, it's one of those weird shows where the more people, the worse you're going to do, because they're just out of control and there's nothing you can do. But go on, anyway, tell me what happened after the chopsticks.
Yeah. So it's chopstick guys, and then I'm middling. They have a host for the night who's a man who he goes by the name Hennessy Williams, which is hilarious.
Oh yeah, I know who that is.
Brilliant. Love it.
Yeah, apparently, he's a guy who people have known. He goes up and he's done the room a bunch of times, and he does pretty well, all things considered. And I'm in the back, just like, man, it's. And as a white fella, it's weird to follow an act with a stage name, but like I've done it before. I've followed a guy named Blackberry in Detroit. Real stage name, great. I've done shows with Kool-Aid, who's a great man, God rest his soul. Like, this isn't a new thing for me, but like in this situation, very new. Yeah. And it's even weirder because everyone in the crowd is white and on spring break, which is a very dangerous combination. Yeah. And so I don't understand why they're laughing, or it's a really weird situation where I'm like, are they laughing because they think he's funny, or is this another thing?
Right.
And so I go on stage and I'm doing, fine or whatever. And this guy just goes, "Come on." I'm like, what? And I'm like, he says it, "Come on." And then his buddy comes around the other way. And do you guys remember the early 2000s fad of icing? You'd ice somebody.
Oh yeah.
I got iced on stage. Where
What?
It was presented with a Smirnoff Ice. It was chanting, "Ice, drink it, drink it, drink." So I drank a whole Smirnoff Ice on stage, and I finish it, and I finished the Smirnoff Ice, and I go, tastes like pussy. the biggest applause I've ever gotten in my entire life. We're just like,
also,
okay.
The perfect thing to say for that moment, because
100%.
you already know they're just drunk idiots.
Yeah. I could say the only word I could say for the rest of my set should and probably should have been pussy. If I just stay up there and say pussy the last 20 minutes of the set, I'm gonna be fine. But it ended up going super well, and it was like this like moment where I was like, well, sometimes you just got to play the game. You know what I'm saying?
If all you said was pussy for the rest of your set, you would have been back the next week on one of the pianos.
Yeah, dude. You just turn into like hamburger and all you say is pussy.
Instead of hamburger, I go, pussy. My big cowboy hat, and I'm Sean, play the piano for us one more time.
Okay, I only know one song. I love the way that you're like, play the piano for me, and I'm like, I only know one song, and I don't have a piano here, so I could have.
I don't know why. What I really wanted to do was you to do that again, which
I could have just pretended that I knew a second song and not just Rugrats.
You could have done anything else other than what you did, Sean.
But I did.
Embarrassing.
I stand by it.
Oh, what a joy! Thank you so much for being here. This has been fantastic. We've learned a lot. We've learned a lot about the mean streets of Longford.
Yeah.
Learned about the compasses. About how you committed low-level arson and referred to it as banter. Amazing.
Listen, I will say I got very few of those fireballs off in comparison to some of my classmates. You know, I maintain that I was like the lowest level of the arsonists in that room.
I do whenever anyone brings up like that's the third time I've said shenanigans. But whenever anyone brings up something bad they did in their past, so quick to throw everyone else under the bus on this show. I love it so much.
All right. They're like, hey, but it's because my friend is what got me into the fire.
Death or whatever. Yeah.
I ain't no snitch.
Fucking rat's paradise. But with that, it's time for our quiz. Sean, admittedly, he said he didn't have a charity. That's fine. Since we got so many donations last week, we're going to do the AALDF again, the Asian American Legal Defense and Education Fund. You guys are getting some more money from us. Sean, I got 5 questions here. $5 per question, per right answer is going to the charity. I cooked up a good one. And by cooked up a good one, I put a very, very, very fantastic quiz into Google. I Googled Irish American trivia.
I hate you so much.
The two are meeting. This comes from the journal.ie, which is one of the greatest websites that you can Google. We'll do 5 questions.
So now I'm going to get quizzed on fake Irish shit.
Of course. The more plastic, the better. Listen, we didn't have a proper St. Patty's Day this year. So imagine you putting on your plastic green derby. You got your Bud Light green.
My green Bud Light.
Of course.
And I did an Irish festival one time, and I swear to you, this guy came up to me and asked me to sign his shirt. And his t-shirt said "Irish Lives Matter."
Oh no!
Oh my gosh,
that's not good.
It's like I can't be a part of this.
Like, I'm not co-signing this, you fucking idiot.
It was an Irish festival in a place called Frankfurt, New York, which is a German name, and the town was all Italian people. And at the festival, they had Highland games and sold kielbasa.
Man, that's
just boy, oh boy.
Yeah. Anyway, so we got 5 questions from the journal. Here we go. If I get 0 right, I'll donate some money.
Fantastic. Also, I should let you know that you legally can't do that. We won't let you do that.
Oh, okay. Tight. Good, because I wasn't going to anyway.
All right. I'm going to read this because the Journal has a very colloquial way of writing. They're talking to you like they're your friend. So I'm going to read all of this word for word. A handy one to start. We all know JFK was a proud Irish American, but what county did his family come from? And now this is a multiple choice one.
Right.
Is JFK's family, the Kennedys, they're called. Are they from Wicklow, Carlow, Wexford, or the Crystal County, Waterford?
I have no idea. So I'm going to say Wexford.
That's correct. That is 100% correct. Look at that.
All right, the guilt is gone.
You're killing it, man.
That's it.
All right. George Clooney is Irish, obviously. Again,
Wow.
I'm reading these just how the Journal writes them.
Wow, I just found that out.
Yeah.
Also didn't know that.
George Clooney is Irish, obviously.
Yeah.
Sure, lads who look like him are 10 a penny down the local boozer.
We're all horrendously ugly. What are you doing?
Yeah.
We look like naked mole rats. Oh yeah, there's just Clooney swanning around the streets of
Yeah,
Ireland.
it's all.
If there's someone right now currently in Ireland who looks like George Clooney, he is 17.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
It's just like, and he's just aged horribly because of alcohol.
Yeah. He's 17 and Italian. He's Italian.
Yeah, and looks like a 62-year-old man.
It's like a leather glove.
Where's George Clooney's family from?
Galway.
Let me read the.
Is Galway an option?
It's not.
Okay, well then I'm not saying Galway.
Good call. Mayo,
Yeah.
Dublin, Donegal, Kilkenny.
Mayo.
Oh, he says Mayo. Wrong. Kilkenny.
So close. And this useless trivia.
Completely useless. Unless you're a charity, then it's great. Michael Flatley is probably one of the best known Irish American entertainers. But in what year did he and Riverdance burst onto the stage during the Eurovision's interval act? Side question, what is the Eurovision interval act?
Okay. So the Eurovision interval act, the Eurovision Song Contest is a contest comprised of one act from every country in Europe, essentially. And it's a big competition, and we've no idea why it matters.
Nice. Perfect.
But every country has one entrant, and then they do voting, and it's a weird voting system because all neighboring countries just vote for each other.
Yeah.
And we're an island. So.
Yeah.
But we used to do pretty well in it, and we won it like 4 times, but then the voting kind of went way too far in the block voting direction. So basically that interval was halfway through that, just the host country would have a performance.
Like when you do a comedy contest, and while they're counting the votes, they have Jimmy Jack fuck nut go up and do stand. Okay.
Exactly.
You guys had Hunger Games for music. That's incredible.
That's amazing.
This is what's going to kill me is that, so we won the competition, so then we hosted the following year, and that is the year that Riverdance broke onto the scene. And I don't know what year that is, but I'm like between 3 years, and they're all side by side, which is useless to me right now.
Okay. We'll obviously give you some years, and it's probably going to be those 3 years.
I know, yeah.
1991.
Okay.
1994.
Okay.
1995.
Bollocks.
1997. When did Riverdance sweep the world?
Well, it's not 91.
Mm-mm. That was.
And I don't think it's 94, so I'm down to like 5 or 7.
Remember,
I'm gonna say 97.
97. Okay.
Yeah.
1997.
But if it's 95, I'm gonna smash my laptop.
Don't do that.
Don't do it.
Sean, don't do that. Come on. You got so much to look up.
Speaking of looking up, should have just Googled the answer.
Part of my day job involves hosting trivia. And at the beginning, we were supposed to make a speech about how don't look anything up. I don't know if they're looking it up. And frankly, I don't give a shit.
I don't care how much money you donate to this charity.
I don't care. All right. So you're going 1995.
I was going to go 97.
Okay, we'll go 1997.
If it was 95.
That's how that would be my guess. 1997. There's a picture of Michael Flatley here. He looks very hungover. 1997. It's 1994.
Ooh.
What?
It seems early, right?
You know what? I had no right to be mad. I didn't realize. I think it was. I think the song that won the year before was this chick with like "I Am the Voice" was the song. Do I get points for that?
I wish.
Good for you, Flatley.
All right. This is. I think this is a very gettable one.
Question: has anyone ever gotten no questions right?
No. There's always at least one question right.
I mean, you already got one right, so you're good.
Yeah, you're good.
All right,
you're good to go.
Yeah, you're gold. Yeah. Has anyone? I don't think anyone's gotten all 5 though.
No, nobody's gotten a perfect score. We got 4 a couple of times.
Yeah. We should keep closer track of this, but why would we? What, are we gonna hire an intern? Come on.
A leaderboard?
Yeah, come on.
All right, let's do a leaderboard. Yeah, I'll get that up.
Sure. Yeah. All right. An Irish American wrote The Great Gatsby. Who wrote The Great Gatsby? John Steinbeck, James T. Farrell, F. Scott Fitzgerald, or Frank McCourt.
I gotta go with F. Scott Fitzgerald.
That is correct.
Hell yeah.
Way to go.
I knew it wasn't Frank McCourt. Steinbeck isn't Irish. And also that was the one you nodded your head first.
Way to give it away, Mike.
I was like, if he gets this one wrong, I don't want to, there are people I can't be giving out.
I had it on process of elimination.
It was very smart. All right. I think,
Frank McCourt wrote Angela's Ashes, and surely he didn't write 2 books.
Listen, there's a rule. If you write 1 classic book, you're out of here, man.
That's it. One and done, my friend.
Yeah, don't write. Who's writing 2 classics? Get out of here. That Harry Potter lady, she stinks.
Get out of here.
Yeah, hit the bricks. All right. We got 1 more or 2 more, Ken?
One more question.
One more question. We all know Conan O'Brien has Irish ancestry. Just look at him. There's a picture.
I love this.
There's a little picture of him. And again, I don't know how they did it. He looks like he's on the red carpet, but it's the worst. It is a horrible. How do you get a candid photo of someone on the red carpet? Very impressive.
Yeah, it's strange. They're usually posing.
It's what you do on the red carpet, baby. We know we've been there. You're
all the red carpet.
Me and Sean.
Yeah. You don't remember that award ceremony I went to for Fireball Run? Oh shit. Okay, I got the name of the episode. How about Fireball Throne? Right? Yeah?
That's actually perfect. We can't admit that it was good because then actually I think the episode's gonna be called This One Should Be Called Fireball Throne. That's gonna be the whole.
That's it. Well, I believe you have to ask me a question about some ginger giant.
Some glass of milk on fire. Okay, we all know Conan O'Brien has Irish ancestry. Just look at him. But which of these talk show hosts claims to be Irish as well? Your choices are Stephen Colbert,
Jimmy Fallon.
He's not even on it. Isn't that wild? Because that's why he had you on. It was, I gotta throw one of the Green Boys a bone. That's what.
That's annoying because I know he is Irish.
Yes. Anyway, Colbert, Jimmy Kimmel, the famously Scottish Craig Ferguson, Ellen DeGeneres.
Oh, Kimmel?
I think it's got to be Kimmel, right?
Right.
I think it's Ellen.
Oh man, it's Stephen Colbert.
Oh yeah, that famous Colbert Irish name.
Listen, every single pub in America or in Ireland has the Colbert coat of arms over the bar. That's terrible. Well, Sean, this would probably be a good time to tell you that we're still going to give them the whole $25. We do every time.
That's great. That's great. Good. I really care about the children. What's the charity?
The Asian American Legal Defense and Education Fund. They're going through a tough time. We're going to give them the money.
Very good. Very good. Good.
Oh, I love it. Awesome. Thank you so much for doing this. Is there anything that you want to tell people to look at that is that you want to plug something?
Plug something. Yeah. There you go, Mike.
Hey, any of your listeners in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania?
I have the numbers up right now. Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. I don't think that's one of our metropolitan areas in Pennsylvania, but we do have some listeners in the Keystone State. So let them hear it, baby. Also, this comes out next week.
Okay, so April 9th and 10th, I'm headlining the Comedy Zone in Harrisburg. 16th and 17th, Zanies in Nashville. Or not Zanies, sorry, Comedy Bar in Nashville. 23rd to the 25th, Comedy Bar in Chicago. Let's hang out.
I'll see you for sure. I'll be there.
The weekend after that, I'm doing Carolina Comedy Club in Myrtle Beach. And if you want to find out any of that information, you can find me on Instagram at Sean Finnerty, SeanyFinnerty. That's it. I'm done plugging.
Cool. And that link to Sean's social media will be in the description of the episode. Ken, what's up? What do you got? Tell him, do the thing.
All right. April 16th, I'll be at the Market Lounge Comedy Club in I don't even know, Valparaiso, Indiana.
Valparaiso.
I'll be at my buddies the 21st. I'll be at Lincoln Lodge the 23rd, and then I'll be doing my show Drunken Night Out at the Lincoln Lodge on the 29th. So check out those dates, and you can get my website at bigblackschlongs.com.
Nice. Very nice. Fantastic. April 29th, Lamont, or April 29th, I'm doing Lakeview, Laughs in Lakeview. April 29th, G-Man Tavern. April 30th, Lamont, Illinois. May 2nd, Laugh Factory. May 11th, Best Night Ever returns to the Lincoln Lodge of Chicago. And then
you're reading them like you're calling a horse race.
Yeah.
Lincoln Lodge right behind Best Night Ever.
But the big one is May 11th, Best Night Ever in Chicago. We're coming back. It's going to be a good time. Awesome. We're at the Lincoln Lodge now. So we'll have, by the time you hear this, all the links and shit will be up, and that'll be in the description of the show as well. Awesome. Cool. Thank you guys so much. And hey, if you're enjoying it, leave a review, subscribe, give us a tweet at EdgeSmed pod on all the stuff. Thank you so much. This has been a blast. For Sean Finnerty, for Ken Hamlett, my name is Mike O'Keefe. I still got a crush on Danny Fernandez, but until then, ass dismissed.